Hello, friends. Welcome back to another review. It's me here with my co-reviewer, my little friend Milkshake down here. He's hanging out, being a friend. Look at him down there. He's looking. Oh, okay, he's not. Um, he's slowly sliding too. This guy, he likes to do that. For this one, we're reviewing kind of a small gem. I want to say people have played it. It's not like a hidden thing, like a whole 40 of us have played or something. But it's not super popular, and I know why, because the genre is not super huge or anything. And it's kind of one of those games that's a little more um different or harder in certain ways that than most other games, which is Synthetik. Synthetik is a roguelike bullet hell shooter set in like the way future, where most things are machines by this point, including yourselves as the players. And you go about, but you're still using primarily realistic looking weapons and everything. Um, Going through kind of a citadel to take on the hive mind computer, pretty much, or the ultra computer, to shut it down to kind of save the world in a sense. This game is hard. Believe me, it is difficult. There's a lot of mechanics. The cat's trying to escape. There he is. Get a little visual of him. Um, it's hard. It's not quite like Dark Soulsy hard or um anything like that, but I would consider it way harder than things like Binding of Isaac or Enter the Gungeon. It's super difficult. There's so many things going on. They have an active reload system put into the game. Your guns can jam in the game. There's so many things. The enemies are nuts and fast and crazy. There's just every element is against you in this game, but it's incredibly fun. Especially because it has co-op, and that's one of the things that a lot of bullet hells tend to lack is co-op, and I don't like that because I like playing with my friends. Now, granted, I'm a glutton for punishment instead of them, so I don't get too many to play with me. Uh, but for this game, I'll be going over a few of the aspects. Um, its design, based off number one here, is pretty good. Um, I would give its design probably like an 8 out of 10. There's a few different level types that you'll see throughout the game, uh, ranging from like more facility based to even like kind of alien looking stuff to um, future looking items and everything. It's really cool to go through it. It's really well designed and everything. So I do heavily enjoy it. Um, it's oh Jesus, bud, you are doing some fun stuff. What are you doing? Let's get you in the camera. You're supposed to help me here. Do some reviewing. Um, there's a bunch of classes to play as in this game. Classes don't necessarily hinder you too much. They add in certain things. You use still every weapon in the game as any class. Just some classes work better with certain guns. Snipers, by the way, as you know, should be very good with sniping, and they are. They're better with snipers because they get a few perks based on snipers. Um, and some the other classes don't get those perks. So that's the only difference, though, from the classes is that they just get a couple extra things, some extra perks that allow them to be a little bit different. Otherwise, you're still able to use every single gun, every item in the game, just like anyone else, which is really good. I think it's good to have that so you can switch between these classes and it doesn't feel that different at all. Um, there's a whole host of items in the game, many active, many passive, as most roguelikes tend to have. Um, some really fun ones. The weapons are the big thing, though. There's a ton of weapons because they can have kind of sub factors to them that make them a little bit different than each other. Um, Quite a few little jokey ones in there. They got like the 420 sniper dragon, which if you do a 360, it powers it up and makes it really damaging. I think it's hilarious. It's hard to play with, but it's fun and interesting. But this game has some utterly satisfying gunplay in it. Every gunshot does feel pretty solid. The reloading, if you get really good at it, is super cool and fun to do. It's difficult to get good at it at first, but it's nonetheless still incredibly enjoyable to play with. The enemy types are pretty varying throughout the game. you're not going to be you're going to fight like a lot of humanoids typically, but you got a bunch of drones and turrets and orbs that fly at you really fast, kill you in a single moment if you're not quicking like watching them. Um, the game does pretty good at making enemies still feel challenging even if you're okay at the game. They never get super easy. Now sometimes you'll get pretty talented by it if you put your mind at it. So taking out some enemies is going to feel like, oh wait, this is an easy game, you know, and then you get towards, you know, a drone that shoots you 3,000 feet away or something like that, and you're like, wow, this is not as easy as I thought it was. Now that's not to discourage you. This game is still incredible. Just keep in mind it is pretty difficult. I must drive that one home pretty much for this game. Um, it's not like gory or anything, by the way. So if that's something you're against in these kind of games, um, don't worry about it. They're all mostly robots in the game, so there's no like humans that you're gonna see explode or something. But you do see a lot of like you'll take out a bunch of robots and everything. Um, you can play through a few different game modes with friends, but the main one is always that Citadel, that going up and trying to break down the enemy and everything. Um, it's difficult, but it makes you really want to come back and keep playing it. Let me make sure I give you a few of the information things. I'm so sorry. The cat is distracting me a little bit. He's not doing the best. He's doing okay. I give him that. He's doing okay at being my co-person here. Satisfactory. I'll do one of that one soon. Probably pretty soon, actually. Satisfactory. Synthetik. I got 15 hours. That's just, I think, the fact that sometimes it doesn't work in person. Or that is the only negative I've seen. I'm sorry, everybody. Is in person. It works perfectly co-op wise. Now, granted, when I'm like over the internet with my friend, is unfortunately not the smoothest sometimes. I do drop sometimes. So that's one of the only negatives I want to say, is that it does make me drop a little bit. But Synthetik is a game that came out, by the way, in March 15th of 2018. This is they are making Synthetik 2. What are you doing? Oh, you smell the jerky. He's kind of going crazy right now. It was made by and published by Flowfire Games with the help publishing wise from Whisper Games. Very incredible. Stop it. I know what you're doing. You're trying to go for the jerky. But wholly recommend the game. I want to give it an 8 out of 10. If it weren't for that kind of inconsistency in the like over the internet stuff, I would probably give it a 9 out of 10, but it's otherwise it's still a pretty amazing game. Recommend with your friends entirely. Try to do it over LAN if you're getting not the greatest internet wise connectivity. LAN will probably work pretty well. But that'll be it for this one. It's priced, by the way, I almost forgot to tell you the price. Currently it's on sale for $5. Normally it's 20. Any game that's under 30 and is a roguelike, I wholeheartedly recommend. Roguelikes are going to give you the absolute probably most replayability in any genre. So keep in mind, $30 is giving you like 2,000 hours probably. You know, if you really like the game, I should say. But that'll be it for this one. As always, I like to ask you to like and comment, as he does too. If you have played the game, what are the kind of weapons you enjoy playing with? Which enemy do you despise the most? To me, it's still the basketball, because that thing sucks when it comes at you. Stop going for the jerky. If you haven't played it, did I make you interest into it? That's not a sentence, but you know what I mean. Are you interested in playing it now, or is it just one of those games that might seem a little too hard? If so, I don't feel bad at all. Games vary way in difficulty. He's going hard for that jerky. I do recommend it if you don't like those kind of games. Just be very stubborn at it. I think you can do it if you don't think you can. I think you can. But that'll be it as well. I like to ask you to subscribe. If you do, I think you're wonderful. If you don't, I still think you're wonderful. So it's completely up to you. And as always, I'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye.